Never thought that we'd go this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe and home? So that I counting days until a second glow. If you're gonna make a change, you have to let me know. Turn the shit around to start a top the youngs. It's all you need to do. this far. Don't stop now. Reaching for a distant star. Don't stop now. Isn't it strange how we're safe and home? So that I'm counting days until a second glow. It's gonna all you need to do.
What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Welcome back to another Good Morning Tottenham. Always sweeter after 3 points, and that's exactly what we got yesterday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 3, Norwich 0. We're going to be going through a match review now, and then we're going to get you guys on to have your say on the game yesterday. But going into a match review, Sim, 3-0. But did that tell the whole reflection of the game for you?
Probably not. I think Norwich probably had a bit too much encouragement throughout the game. I think actually they were a lot more possession based on the front foot than I expected, even though I know Norwich previously under Farke were very possession based, and that's how they like to play their football. But under Dean Smith, they've been a lot more solid, focusing a lot more on like defending and keeping clean sheets and stuff. So I was a bit surprised when they came to our stadium. And it's not. I'm just wondering whether it was a case of Tottenham allowing them possession, or them coming with a plan to be very possession based and keeping the ball, because they had something like 64% possession or something throughout the game.
66 or something, yeah.
Yeah, so like some like very high, and like you know before the game, if I would have told you Norwich had that much possession, you'd probably be like, really, like very surprised. But I think it was kind of allowing them possession while keeping them at arm's length. I think there was a few moments early on. Pukki had that chance that he should have scored very early on. And that was kind of like a warning sign. Like, we can't allow them too much encouragement in possession, even though we're kind of, I don't know whether there was a plan or not. But I felt like many times they would have long spells of possession, then we would catch them on a transition, we'll sneak the ball, and then we'll spring into attack. And I felt like we were much more dangerous once we were doing that, and we were opening them up a few times, even first half and second half. We would open them up a few times, and I think by and large we were definitely more dangerous. We definitely probably played the better overall, and we deserved the victory. But I think Norwich definitely be disappointed they didn't at least get one goal, because they did miss some gilt-edged chances.
Yeah, they did. They had some really good chances. The one from Ida in the second half, the one from Pukki early on, and there were a couple more as well where they really should have done better.
Sargent, he hit his own leg, didn't he?
Yeah, that one as well. So, I mean, there were chances for Norwich to hurt us. I mean, they did, in terms of them hurting us, they hurt us in terms of getting close to our goal and getting chances, and they just lacked that bit of quality to really finish it off. So, on another day with another team, you know, you may be talking about a much more dangerous game, to be honest.
Definitely. We have to. There are so many ways we can improve for sure. Out of possession, we have to be a lot more intense when winning the ball back. We can't allow Norwich to build up a head of steam into our half and get them so close to goal that they're nearly scoring. I think 3 chances like the ones they have is too many for a game like this, and we got lucky in the sense that they didn't punish us. But on the flip side, there was no luck about us, except for maybe the set piece. There was no luck about the goals we scored. I think we deserved the goals we scored, and by and at the end of the day, for all the possession Norwich had, we had more shots, we had more chances, we had a higher XG. Like, I think we definitely deserve the victory. So I don't think Norwich can complain about the result, but they definitely will maybe feel hard done by that they weren't able to convert any of the openings that they created. And I think Conte will have to look at that and see why they created so many.
Yeah, but you're completely right in saying that, you know, we were the team that looked more dangerous. We were the team that, if you know, that we deserved to win the game. I think we deserved to win the game, and I think we played well yesterday, and definitely in parts of the game. When you look at how the game flowed, I mean, when the game kicked off, Norwich were on top, weren't they, for the first 10-15 minutes, and they looked like they had some sort of game plan and they're going to come and hurt us. So they had that chance right early on with Teemu Pukki. Yes, also we had a few chances early on as well, but I think that it went in flows, this game, because in the first 10-15 minutes they were on top, then we took control, and then they maybe slightly took back control in the end of the first half, and then the beginning of the I mean, it kept flowing between Spurs and Norwich, who actually had control of the game. But I think for the most part of the game, Spurs were the ones pretty much in control of the game.
Yeah, and I think it's important, even when you're out of possession and the opposition having a good spell, that you remain compact, you remain solid. And I think although they had those couple of chances. I think by and large they struggled to create against us, despite those few chances. They had 3 chances throughout the game, dotted throughout. But I think by and large they were struggling to really get into positions where they could hurt us. And I think Conte's mid block was pretty effective overall. And I think when we did win the ball back, we were winning it back in positions where it would catch them off guard and actually leave them exposed. And that was, I think, the plan yesterday. It must have been deliberate to allow them that much possession. I can't imagine that we would allow them all that possession as not part of a plan. But to go counter-attacking at home to Norwich wouldn't have pleased many fans pre-kickoff. But I think the plan worked.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And when you're talking about individual displays yesterday, Ollie Skipp, man. I mean, what a performance he put in yesterday. I mean, he is growing game by game. Such a mature performance for someone of 21 years old. The countless amounts of interceptions, countless amounts of tackles, and the way he once he won these interceptions, once he won these tackles, the way he sprung on the Norwich defence, the way he started attacks, the way he drove forward, the passing range that he was showing yesterday as well. I mean, he was brilliant yesterday, wasn't he?
He was exceptional, absolutely exceptional. In the first half, I believe he got 100% passing accuracy, 100% duels won. He was really an absolute he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant in the centre of the park. And it wasn't just. It was both facets of his game, which is improving, which is really, really encouraging. I think his composure on the ball when he's being pressed and his ability to step into spaces where step away from people pressing him and not allow players to get too near to the ball, too near to him was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and I thought yesterday it was another performance proving that Ollie Skipp is a real star for the future, and he's really, at such a young age to put in performances like that is super, super impressive. And I think he's going from strength to strength, and the way he likes to train and how hard he works. It's only a matter of time before he becomes the full package.
Yeah, and looking at these stats from Squawka last night, 100% duels won, 100% final third pass accuracy, 49 passes attempt, 47 succeeded, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances and 2 shots. I mean, that just all action display, isn't it, from Ollie Skipp?
And even having shots as well. And I think they both came in the first half, I remember.
Yeah, there was that one where he charged forward in the opening minutes.
Yeah.
In the first 10 minutes, which really set the tone for his display, really. I just thought he was sensational. And the guy next to him, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, I thought he really had a much improved performance as well.
Yeah, I think he played pretty well. I think they had a pretty good partnership together.
And it's growing, that partnership.
Yeah, and he was also, when you look at Skipp, he was involved in the third goal as well, playing it off to Ben Davies into space, and he laid it off for Son, who scored. He's starting to get involved in the attacks as well, as much as the build-up play from central midfield. So I think everyone's getting very excited about Ollie Skipp at the moment, and rightly so. It's a mockery of the fact that early in the season Nuno dropped him for the Arsenal and Chelsea games.
Yeah.
Early in the season, we said at the time, how can you do that? And now, the performances he's putting in, he's making it pretty much impossible to leave him out at the moment. He's becoming a bit of an all-round midfielder as well now, which is brilliant. He needs to really refine his game in that sense, but. He's a midfielder who you can't leave out. And he's a midfielder as well. You feel like, alongside Højbjerg, Conte's allowing him a bit more license to go forward. And I also feel like he would be able to be the midfielder who could be alongside a more offensive midfielder as well, and have the discipline to maybe sit and not be the one going forward, allowing another midfielder to go forward. And that allows a bit more versatility as well.
Gives us a lot of options, or more options at least. And another player I want to talk about who I think really struggled yesterday, in Tanganga, played right wing back. I mean, when we all saw the lineup, we were like, not too sure, because we're not too sure about Tanganga at right wing back, and that showed yesterday. I mean, in the first half, he kind of got away with it. Second half, I mean, he got given a torrid time, didn't he?
By Brandon Williams.
By Brandon Williams. I mean, he was beating him time and time again, and then eventually having to be taken off. And, you know, the guy who came on, Matt Doherty, which we thought was quite telling that he wasn't in the starting lineup, quite telling that he didn't come on in the last game when we took off Emerson as well. So he came on and actually had a good display, but Japhet Tanganga really struggled yesterday.
Yeah, and I just don't think that's the position. I mean, to be honest, he more struggled defensively than offensively in many aspects, actually, Japhet Tanganga. But I just don't think that position really suits him. And I think when you're getting dominated by Brandon Williams, you know, something's wrong. You know what I mean? And Brandon Williams isn't a bad player, but he's not a player that should be dominating you like Tanganga got dominated yesterday, and it really could have cost us if it wasn't for other players making up for him. And Conte definitely made the right call yesterday, making I think just cutting your losses and steadying the ship. And once Doherty came on, pretty much all that threat stopped, which was the most crucial thing. But Tanganga, for last few performances, he's had to be taken off early. It's not the first time. Against Leeds as well, he got taken off early as well. So, and again, if I remember rightly, when we played Arsenal at the Emirates, he got taken off at half time. If I remember, I think he got did he get taken off at half time? Yeah, I think he did, didn't he? I think Emerson came on at half time, if I remember rightly.
Well, Skipp came on at half time, I remember.
Yeah, I think Emerson
as well.
I'm pretty sure Emerson came on at half time.
Yeah, you're right. He went off at half time.
So it's this the third time already he's been able to hold off after, you know, he had a great start to the season at home to City.
Against Leeds he went off with 20 minutes to go. Against Norwich he went off with half an hour to go, and then against Arsenal he went off half time.
Yeah, but I felt like against Leeds it was also because he was struggling a bit. That's what the feeling I got, is that's why he was taken off.
Yeah, when Sanchez came on for him and shored things up.
So it's not he's now we're talking about now 3 times this season he's had to be taken off like early because he's struggling. And you know, if you cast your mind back to the first game of the season where you were playing Man City and he's having an absolute stormer, and we're thinking, all right, we've got our right back sorted for the season. Honestly, that's what a lot of people were thinking. Like, he's going to be our starting right back this season, but unfortunately, I just don't think he's able to keep up that standard. And I think as well, you know, he didn't have to have as much responsibility maybe on the ball than he has done since then against City, which is why maybe he looked a little bit more comfortable. But I don't know. It's just gone. I don't know what it is at the moment, but he's just gone a bit wrong recently for Tanganga. I feel like whenever he's got an opportunity recently, he hasn't really taken it. His performances have dipped quite a bit.
What I feel with Jaff is I think he needs a long, extended run of football, and maybe you know, they were talking about him going on loan in the summer, but that Man City game kind of put a stop to all that. And I thought maybe for his career and for the benefit of us in the long term, maybe the loan move would have been best.
I just think we got to stop playing him a right back.
But even at centre back, that Leeds game, he was at centre back.
Yeah, but he was better in that Leeds game than he was yesterday, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at Arsenal he was at right back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And I know against Man City he was a right back, but I feel like right centre back will definitely suit him a lot more if he gets used to that role than right wing back. I just don't think he has the capabilities of playing that role. I think on the ball he doesn't have the quality on the ball or composed enough to really provide a kind of any quality when we're building up ahead of steam in possession. Our possession, he should theoretically be good, but I felt like he was kind of not sure where to be on the pitch when he was a right wing back, and I think he got caught out of position a few times, which he did. And I just don't think it suits him. I've always thought like he's he's one of those players who can do a job as a right back, but he's not a natural right back, and I wouldn't want him to be there long term. And I don't think if he's going to really be a Tottenham player for the long, into the future, I don't think it's going to be a right back.
Completely agree. It is going to be in that centre back role, definitely in that right centre back role, but I think for someone of that age, I think he needs that run of games just to build up his confidence a bit. That's what I just feel, and I think that may be a loan move, because I don't think he's going to get that here. He's not going to get that long run of games here, in my opinion. I think he needs maybe a loan, but who knows? But a few other.
I think theoretically he could be even more suited to that right centre back role than Sanchez. As much as Sanchez did well yesterday, and he's done okay, but I think if you look at like skill sets and stuff, I think theoretically Tanganga could be more suited to that role, because I think he's a tiny bit better on the ball than Sanchez is and stuff. and he's a bit more comfortable going forward than Sanchez is. So technically he could, but he's just got to make sure that when he gets his chance, he's not as much of a liability as he is like yesterday and beforehand.
Yeah, but when you're looking at, both players on the space of the whole season so far, I know Sanchez has just had 2 poor games in Moura and against Brentford where he looked a bit nervy. But I think when you look at the whole season as a whole, I think Sanchez is just performing at a higher level than Tanganga, isn't he?
I don't disagree. I think Sanchez is generally a better player than Tanganga. I'm just saying if you're looking at skill sets, if you're just looking at the profile of players, I think Tanganga theoretically should be more suited to that right centre-back role than Sanchez, how Conte wants to play.
Yeah. All right. A few other players that I want to get through. Let's talk about Kane and Son and Lucas, to be fair. Let's start off with the good. Let's start off with Sonny because first few games under Conte didn't really get to grips with it. Was like learning the new role and whatever. But last 2 games he's really looked dangerous. Really looked back to his old self. Really looked energetic, direct, getting on the score sheet, getting assists as well. And it looks as though Sonny maybe not back to his best, but definitely on the way there.
Yeah, and he's looking sharp again. And the goal he took it really well, I felt. That was like very sharp movements inside the penalty area and firing at home, and I was very happy with that. I thought in transitions as well, I thought he was pretty electric. He was linking up well with the front three. There was that moment where Kane was a bit unhappy with him, wasn't he, in the first half, where he took a shot where Kane thought he should have passed it to him and it kind of just hit Kane and went wide. But I think his performances are definitely improving. Obviously, we were playing against the likes of Brentford and Norwich, so it's going to be more difficult against other games. But I think he's definitely learning his new role a lot better, and he's finding different spaces. Before, I think he was being crowded out a bit, and he just wasn't able to impact the game. But now he's definitely getting more involved. He's definitely becoming a lot more of a threat in the final third, and I think the front three are working quite well together in terms of Son and Lucas being the speed and Kane kind of providing the ammo.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm really liking the way Sonny's looking at the moment. Lucas Moura as well, I thought played really well, very dangerous, especially in that first half. That goal was just insane, wasn't it?
Yeah,
got to be goal contender for goal of the month this month. I mean,
it wasn't just the
whole move was just insane. Starting from Lucas beating a few men, one quick 1-2 with Sonny, and then the way he shaped around that other defender, got it past him, and then fired it right into the top bins. I mean, what a goal!
Yeah, completely instinctual as well. Like, it was just a brilliant piece of play from Lucas Moura, and those moments he's more than capable of providing those moments. We all know that, and I actually think it wasn't just his goal. I thought in general there were a few times where he was, especially in the first half. I think he quieted down in the second half a bit. In the first half, I thought he was pretty much everywhere. I thought he was really brilliant. He was providing through balls. He was on the counter attack. He was winning fouls, getting yellow cards for the opposition. I thought he was a really strong performance from Lucas in the first half, and he's making it hard to drop. Everyone thought we were gonna. It was Ali Gold was reporting Spurs are gonna move to a 5-3-2 and all this kind of stuff. But I think Lucas at the moment is making it impossible to drop him. It's very, very difficult, and I think he's playing extremely well. Yeah,
and he needs to be impacting in his output like. That showed just yesterday how much he needs to be improving in his output. He puts on game on game on game on. We said in the watch along yesterday, someone with his ability should be providing at least 15 goals and assists every season.
Definitely.
And he doesn't do that. And, yesterday's quality, that goal yesterday just proved everyone that he can do it. He can do it. And he's got such quality about him. And he just doesn't show it enough. Nowhere near enough.
It's interesting. I was watching his interview yesterday on Match of the Day, and he was like saying how I'm not a killer like Son and Kane. I don't score loads of goals, but when I do score, I score nice goals. That's what he was saying. So he's one of those players. He sees himself as a scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer. Yeah, one of those players. Which they used to be a number of them back in the day. But for sure, I think I don't know why. Maybe I don't why he doesn't have confidence in himself that he can be that player like that regularly scores goals and gets assists and stuff. Because the guy's got bags of ability, bags of quality. It's stacked to the brim. Like, he really is a quality player, and it's all about just getting. I don't know whether it's about unlocking him on like where he is on the pitch positional wise, or his just in his mind, like when to take the shot and decision making, all this kind of stuff. But at 29, it's difficult to coach that into a player if he hasn't got that already. But I just think I think he's always going to be an enigma in that way, Lucas Moura, unfortunately. But I just think you got to appreciate what he can do, and what he can do is provide a lot of quality on the pitch. But it's just he's always going to leave you wanting more, unfortunately, throughout a season.
I think he's always replaceable.
Look, in specific games, there are some games like yesterday and other games you were thinking, oh, this guy is world class. Like, you just think like he's unstoppable. And then there are games where he's completely anonymous and he doesn't get involved at all.
Leaves you so frustrated.
And he gives away the ball every time he gets it, and you're thinking like, how is this guy in the team? Like all this stuff. These are conflicting opinions. But throughout a season, I think he'll always provide moments of quality, but he'll always leave you thinking...
wanting more.
Yeah, he'll always leave you thinking this guy should be getting a lot more goals. Like, for example, last season he scored 4 Premier League goals. That is, for a player of Lucas's ability, it's unacceptable. How can he score 4 Premier League goals throughout a whole season? That was his first goal since February. We're in December, so that's 10 months.
Yeah.
He hasn't scored a Premier League goal for 10 months. That is ridiculous. I know he provides other things on the pitch for sure. I know he does, and that's great. All his other skills, which is fantastic, and that's why he's always valuable having in the team, even when he's not scoring. But he definitely should be. It's not even just on the score sheet. He should be taking shots more. There's some games where he doesn't even shoot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that is not enough for someone like Lucas.
Definitely. And that's why he's always going to be replaceable, in my opinion, because you can get players in there that will put so much more output than he does throughout a season. And if he produced week in, week out like we know he could, he'd be one of the best players in the Premier League.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's probably why we have him, to be honest.
Literally, the quality that he has, he could be one of the best players in the Premier League. But I do feel that he's much more suited to this kind of more central role than when we stick him out wide. Yeah,
he seems a lot more at home when he's not asked to provide width. So he's not like, obviously, like maybe how he was playing last season when he was in the number 10. He's obviously a bit more to the right, but this inverted central role as a number 10 kind of thing, like as Conte said, 2 number 10s. I definitely think it suits him more because he's got a lot more passing options in between the lines, which is he's a lot more comfortable. He doesn't have to put crosses in or anything. And he's able to get shots off in central areas, which I think he's a lot more comfortable with.
Definitely. Another player in Harry Kane, another blank yesterday. And if you say it's ridiculous for Lucas not to be scoring, it's ridiculous for Harry Kane not to be scoring. He scored 1 goal all season.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I thought he was all right, but still nowhere near the Harry Kane which we are used to seeing. And he needs to be providing more for the team. I know he's providing some good passes and stuff like that from the middle of the park and stuff, but he's just not getting on the score sheet. He needs to be scoring goals.
I think I don't want to conflate what we say about Kane and Lucas when we say it's ridiculous and not scoring. When we're talking about Lucas, we're talking about his whole career. He's literally never scored like over 10 goals in a season in his career. That's not the same with Kane. Kane, we've seen his output throughout his career. Like, obviously, we want him to be scoring more goals, but it's not a similar case where Lucas has never shown his true ability in terms of output. Kane, we know he has shown that, like, consistently. So I think it's a different case there when we're talking about it being ridiculous that he never scores goals, like for example. But when of course, 1 goal in 13 is a worry for Kane. Look, week on week, the more he doesn't score, the more everyone gets more and more worried. Is he finished? Is he this? Is he? Are we ever going to see the Harry Kane back at Tottenham that we saw from at his best and all that kind of stuff? And I understand those concerns, but look, we all know there was big problems with him in the summer, looking to move. He wasn't at his best at the beginning of the season, all that kind of stuff. But since Conte's come in, I definitely have seen a difference. And even in the past few games, even when he's not scoring, I still think he's playing pretty well. I think he's linking up really well with the front three. Obviously, I want him to be contributing even more because we know he can. But I'm not I'm not looking at him as of yesterday or as of against Brentford and being worried about what I'm seeing. That's not where I'm at the moment from with Harry Kane. I'm worried about the goal return this season, 1 goal in 13, which is unheard of Kane. Like, he never goes through a spell like that, which is obviously, when that happens, you start to ask questions. But for me, Conte's 4 games into his tenure, and I think it's not just that I'm seeing a difference in Kane in terms of how he's like his, I don't know about attitude, but I just like how he's contributing to the team, but as well, like, we're still in the process of building this team and being able to create lots of chances for our strikers. We're still not fully the way there. I know we just had Brentford and Norwich, and you're thinking, those 2 games he has to get on the score sheet, and he didn't. But he didn't get on the score sheet. But it's not like we won those games in spite of Kane. Kane was also a big reason why we were able to create loads of chances and be fluid in the final third. I thought we contributed pretty well to the attack, Harry Kane, without scoring a goal. And Kane's one of those strikers where even if he doesn't score, he's still contributing in other areas. He's not one of those strikers like people compare him to Aubameyang last season, but Aubameyang's one of those strikers where if he doesn't score, he's doing nothing on the pitch. Kane's not like that. Kane provides other things even when he's not scoring. So I've always said it. I'm sure he's going to get back to scoring goals sooner rather than later. I'm hoping. I don't think he's going to go the next 13 games with only 1 goal. I'm pretty sure of that. But I'm also thinking when I'm seeing him now, obviously I want more from him in terms of output, and I want him scoring, getting more shots and stuff. But I'm not worried about him. I'm really not. That's just what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what he's contributing to the team, I can see like he's making some nice passes from the middle of the park and stuff like that. But what's he actually contributing to the team? I mean, I thought he played okay against Brentford. Wasn't his worst display, like 7 out of 10, something like that. But yesterday, I thought he vanished out the game, definitely in big parts of the game yesterday. And I don't know, what do you think he actually contributed to the game yesterday?
Lots. I thought he was holding up the ball really well. I thought he was linking up with Son, Lucas, and Kane. I thought Son and Lucas actually really effectively. A few times Lucas was playing him in behind. He was having shots. He played that really nice dummy to Son, where Son had the shot that hit Kane and went wide. Like, I thought he was linking. I thought he was a part of the attack, which was not just as crucial. I think Lucas and Son were obviously better than him, but I think he provided a role in that front three, which was also very important to us being fluid. I thought he was contributing 100%, and I thought as well, like people have to realize as well, he's a focal point. You have to look at the amount of work he does when the defenders are playing passes into him, and he's using all of his strength and all of his might to hold them off and release other players. Like, other players aren't going to be capable of that. Like, because of his skill set, he's pretty much the only player in the squad who can do that role. Like, even when he's not scoring, the fact that he's holding possession, when Conte talks about a focal point, that's why it's so crucial about having Kane in the team, because without him, there is no out ball. For example, when a defender is in trouble on the right hand side of a pitch and he's being pressed and he has no option, he can lump it to Kane, and there's a decent chance Kane will be able to take it down and get it under control and set us on an attack. There is no other player in the squad, bar none, who can do that role. So that's what he can provide for the team. That, and even when he's not scoring, that's why he's crucial to us.
Mm. Do you think without Harry Kane, we still win that game yesterday?
Potentially, yeah. Potentially, we still win the game, yeah.
Yeah, I think we most definitely win the game yesterday. Probably
potentially. I wouldn't say. I don't think by the same scoreline.
Why not?
Because I think that Norwich actually were in possession. There were moments in the game where we needed an out ball, and Kane was the man providing that. Without him, Norwich would have won possession back a lot more times than they did yesterday, I felt.
That's interesting. I want to know you guys' comments in the comment section below. What did you make out of Harry Kane's performance yesterday? Me personally, I don't think it was as good as you were saying. I thought he vanished out of the game at parts. Yeah, there were some good moments in there where he did provide for us and was providing those great out balls like you were saying. But for the quality that the guy has, I expect a lot better from him. I expect a lot better from Harry Kane. And I'm not saying like take him out the team or anything like that, because I genuinely believe he will improve and he will start getting on the score sheet and stuff like that. And yeah, maybe it is a bit lazy of people to say just because he's not scoring, he's not playing well, because his performances definitely have improved since Conte has come to when Nuno was here. But the guy needs to be getting on the score sheet, and 1 goal in 13 games is nowhere near good enough for someone what he's been providing for us in the past. And
Of course.
you know, it's unprecedented, this form for Harry Kane, really, isn't it?
Correct. And he's going through a bad patch in front of goal. I don't think anyone can deny that. I can't deny that as well. He is. Like, you know, he's snatching at chances. There are chances where he would have been taking and he's not taking them. And that is just something that's going to have to, that he's going through, like, obviously, especially in the Tottenham shirt. But I'm not worried about it. That's just my belief. Like, people can say I should be, but I'm not. I just think, for me, what I'm seeing from Harry Kane, I'm not worried from what I'm seeing from Harry Kane on the pitch.
If he keeps providing these performances like he did against Brentford, like he did against Norwich, these kind of displays where he's not scoring, but he is providing, you know, that hold up play, providing that out ball, would you persist with him till the end of the season? Let's say he gets, like, you know, for argument's sake, not many goals this season, like 5 or 6 goals from now to the end of the season.
It depends. Like,
and if he's still providing those, you know, the good things that you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends if how it's functioning in the team. Like, if we're really struggling for goals, and he's one of the players who's not contributing at all, then obviously it's got to be looked at. But right now we've just won 2-0 and 3-0, and just because Kane didn't score, then that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? He's playing well and he's contributing to the attack, and we won. Like, it's a team game at the end of the day. You know, when France won the World Cup, Giroud didn't have a shot on target, I don't think, the whole tournament, but he was a massive. You know, he would play. He was a big reason why they went on to win the tournament. I felt. Like, I thought he had a great tournament, even though he didn't score a goal. I'm not saying Kane is like that. I'm just saying it is a team game, and it's all about how the player functions in the team. And obviously his main function, we know that previously anyway, has been our main source of goals, and he needs to be that because there aren't many other sources in the team. But if I'm taking the last few games in isolation, I don't see him as as a reason why we're not functioning or anything. I think he's a important cog to the team, and we are scoring. So it depends. It depends. If the goals dry up and he's not able to contribute, that's something that has to be looked at 100%. But at the moment, that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it for a long time, where we need to find goals from other sources and all over the pitch, and, you know, that's what we're kind of doing at the moment. But we need Harry Kane's goals in there as well as, not instead of, if you know what I mean.
Of course, but no, that's 100% right. 100% right. We need Kane to start. I'm not denying we need Kane to score. Of course we do. He's our main source of goals, and we need him to start banging goals for sure. But I'm just saying, in isolation, the last 2 games, just because he didn't score, I don't think it's like an indication of him not playing well.
Yeah, maybe if you take the 2 games in isolation, but when you're looking at the season as a whole, 1 game in 13.
We know the season's been people like Josh King. I was having a conversation with Josh King yesterday. He goes, "When can we acknowledge there's a big problem with Kane?" I'm like, we all know there was. This is no secret. He wanted to leave in the summer. Like, no one's denying there's been problems with Kane this season. But Conte's only been here 4 games. Conte's just come in, and we know, and I'm convinced that Kane, there's going to be a change in what Kane and how Kane sees things now Conte's in, and I think we're seeing that. And I know he still hasn't scored, but I think he is playing well, so I'm just not worried about it at the moment.
All right, a few more players before we get into the call-ins. Ben Davies, man, the man, the myth, brilliant. The legend, the man at the moment, man. Ben Davies is just performing out of his skin. Is this his best run? Since Conte's come in, is this his best run in a Spurs shirt?
I wouldn't go that far just yet, because I think he has had, I remember, for example, when, people forget, in our best ever season, in our last season of White Hart Lane, Rose was out for half that season. Davies played actually, I think, more than Rose that season.
Yeah, he
And
did.
people forget that. Like Davies was like really crucial. So like I wouldn't say right now is his best spell on a Spurs shirt, but it's probably his best spell on a Spurs shirt for a good like 2-3 years. I would say that.
You know, even that season, yeah, he was good at left back, but I still think that the levels of the performances right now are above that. I genuinely believe
playing
the
very
levels,
well.
I mean, that the sheer quality he's bringing to the team, this is probably the most we've ever seen him in the opposition half ever. It's absolutely mental what we're seeing with Ben Davies at the moment. And this is a player where majority of the Spurs fans would have been happy to see the back of him in the summer.
100%, me included. I think the way he was going, I didn't see a future for him at Tottenham, to be honest. But I think that if he was to handpick a manager to come in and change things for him, he would have probably picked Conte, and it's the perfect manager for him. He knows exactly how to deal with a player like Ben Davies. He knows how to get the best out of him, and I think this is the perfect position for him. It really is. I think he's really showing how he can perform in this position, and it'll be interesting to see how he does when we do come up against better teams, because it's going to be a lot harder to do what he's doing now against those kind of teams. But it's still crucial to do that against the lesser teams as well, because sometimes they get in their shape and they make it difficult to break down. And he's like, it's almost like he's becoming. So if you've got Son at left wing forward, you like left forward, you've got Reguilon at like left wing, and then you've almost got like Ben Davies as like another left winger in a way, in like coming forward and providing that other option when we're on the ball on that side, and it's making it very, very difficult for teams to deal with it when we overload in that area. And case in point, when we that third goal, you had Seston on the left. You have Son there, and then Davies just making an inside run in the channel, and they can't pick him up because they've got too many things to think about. Unless one of the forwards is there tracking back and tracking him all the way back, which is very unlikely, then he's always going to be free because he's a centre back. Why would you pick up a centre back in the final third? You know what I mean? It's very, very difficult tactically to deal with that. And Davies, for all his faults, he's because he's difficult to pick up, he's very likely to be in space. And when you give Davies time and space, like, his quality isn't the best, but it's okay. It's decent. It's decent enough that he can provide an assist or so here and there. And that's all you need when you're a centre back. If you're getting 3 or 4 assists and 2 goals in a season as a centre back, that's good. You know what I mean? So that's exactly all you need to provide. And he's already got 2 assists now. I know one of them was dodgy from a corner, but that's perfect for Ben Davies. And because he's not playing a left back anymore, he can just pick his moments to go forward. He doesn't have to have that pressure on him.
A lot of moments. A lot of moments. He's picking his moments, and he's literally going forward at every single opportunity at the moment. I'm loving it.
I don't think that's true, actually. I don't think he is going forward at every opportunity. I think he's very precisely picking his moments to go forward. Why I say that is because I feel like when he was at left back, he had pressure on him to always be going forward, and that pressure actually led him to becoming a worse player because he doesn't have the speed or fitness, or I don't know. Sammy probably has, but I don't think he has the speed or to be always in the final third and then always back in position when the team break on us. I don't think he has that. But when he is at left centre back, he doesn't have to. He's got Reguilon there, always going to be up forward. So actually, all he has to do is when there is an opportunity to go into the space and be that other option, he's going to be there because he knows he's going to be free every single time. He's not going to be marked by a right back or whatever. He's going to be free. So he can pick his moments, but he doesn't have to go forward every time because a lot of the time, Reguilon's going to be the option. You're going to have a Son there and you're going to have the forwards anyway. So he can just hang back and just pick his moments. But obviously against Norwich, there are going to be more moments than against other teams to go forward. That's why we saw him a lot.
I feel like he's getting forward more than when he was at left back. When he was at left back, maybe in like a Jose Mourinho team, he would hardly even pass the halfway line.
Yeah, that's my point, because he probably didn't have confidence to go forward and then be back in position. So that led him actually going forward.
Or on instruction.
Either, whatever it was. Maybe it was instruction. I also think that because he can't get back in position because of his lack of natural pace. Like, it probably led him in his mind to be like, I actually can't go, even though he has pressure to go forward, he actually can't get forward as much as he would like, because if he does, we could be caught out, and we did get caught out a lot when he did go forward.
Yeah.
So I think this is perfect for him. It really is.
Completely agree.
And also, not just that, defensively as well, because he is a fullback by trade. He is very much comfortable if Reguilon is out of position, he can step in there. He could go to the left back position, and he's very, very comfortable in our wide areas. Very comfortable. Whereas other centre backs, if you put him there and they're forced out wide, they might be a bit uncomfortable defending in that position. But Davies has always been a decent defender, defensively at left back. It's not those aren't where we've been annoyed at him per se. So that's why he's just like, at the moment, he's looking very comfortable and he's looking very effective in that position.
Definitely.
And I'm very happy for him, because when you come under that much criticism for years now, which it's been a few years, when you hit back with these kind of performances, it's a good story, and it's a good redemption arc. But look, it's still very early on. We don't want to go overboard, but at the moment, he's literally finding that 8s out of 10s every week.
Yeah, and it's a point I was going to make, actually, because, you know, I've been quite vocal in terms of, you know, everyone's been singing Arsenal's praises in that 10-game unbeaten run, and I said, they haven't played anyone, so it'll be a bit hypocritical of me if I go, Spurs are on the right track now because we've won these last 3 games. These last 3 games we should be winning anyway, let's be honest. Leeds at home, Brentford at home, Norwich at home, and even under Nuno, we probably would have won these games, in my opinion. So I think that the real tests are going to come. The real tests are coming. In the next 4 games, I mean, we're going to see maybe more where we're at in terms of the last 3 games, in my opinion. So the next 4 games in terms of Brighton away, albeit they've got a lot of injuries, don't they, Brighton? Brighton away, Leicester away, Liverpool at home, and Palace at home. You've got 4 teams there that, you know, that've shown good stuff. Maybe not Leicester, you know, they've been off form this season. Palace, they're starting to dwindle a bit.
You say that again. I think when was the last time they won a game?
Yeah, I mean, they've only won about 2-3 games this season.
Obviously,
I think
one
Palace.
against Spurs.
Yeah. So I mean, look, the Palace game, a team that we've been already too battered this season. Let's be honest. Liverpool is going to be an extremely tough game, as we all know.
I think we should, apart from the Liverpool game, we shouldn't fear any of those teams.
Yeah, we shouldn't fear them, but they're much higher in quality than the teams that we've just faced.
That's true. That's also true. Yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more where we're at in the next 4 games than we have done in the previous 3 games, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So look, I don't think any Spurs fan should be going overboard with the 3 performances or the 3 results that we've just had. But look, it's great to win 3 back-to-back wins, but the opposition have been at the kind of lower end of the Premier League. So let's see where we're at over the next 4 games, is what I'm saying.
Definitely, 100% agree.
All right, so that is our match review for the Spurs-Norwich game. Now it is time to get you guys on. But just before we do that, we got a few super chats to get through. First one from Avi Troop saying, just what I was saying. Don't get overhyped, just like Arsenal fans with their so-called 10-game unbeaten run. Real test is coming in the next 4 games, then judge. And I think that's absolutely spot on.
Avi Troops, yeah.
And a big super chat here from Bring Him Home, 100 SGD, saying, happy to see Sonny's goal and assist with the guys on the pitch.
Yeah. And it was
I'm loving Sonny's little Spidey celebration.
I love it. Exactly. Absolutely brilliant. And it was,
if anyone's got links to Tom Holland, let's get him on the channel, people.
Yeah, I think I'm being a bit ambitious with that one.
52 million followers.
You can try, yeah. Yeah, even 10% of that. Come on. Get into him. I think Sonny is definitely starting to contribute again. After I thought he went through a bit of a bad patch where he was, struggling to get into games. But I think past 2 games much more positive, and I just can't wait to get that front 3 really in full flow. You know, when a fully functioning Conte system.
All we need is Kane to start scoring, and then they will be in free flow.
Exactly, but you know I think week on week, everyone's just learning more and more, aren't they?
Yeah.
From the way Conte wants them to play, and that's the most positive thing.
Did you send the link to Grandpa?
No.
Send the link to Grandpa. In the meantime, let's get Brian on.
Good morning,
Brian,
boys. How we doing?
Sir?
How you doing?
Morning,
Good,
Brian.
thank you. We've got a super chat here from Moninder Singh saying, "Good morning from Toronto. Come on, you Spurs."
There you go. Look at us Torontonians up at quarter in the morning to make sure we watch this great channel. The dedication is strong with us.
It really is. And I'm going to keep mentioning it. It's even more strong with you. You got a bloody tattoo to show for it.
I do indeed, and mate, like I said to you, I need to have an X-ray check. I'm worried when I next go through the airport because they're going to find an electronic chip you've put in me to wake me up for these silly o'clock shows. But yeah, mate.
And by the way, Brian, Josh King said yesterday if Kane scores 21 Premier League goals this season, he's also going to get a tattoo.
Yeah, I saw
Did
that in
he?
the chat. Remember,
Yeah.
I said,
I don't know what you started. Everyone's going to be getting tattoos soon.
That's
Where's
exactly
Josh
what I said to
RG?
you.
Where's Josh RG?
So, do you know what? I spoke to Josh last night. Now, Josh obviously had a big problem or a massive issue at the end of the month with his daughter being in hospital, which took over
Oh,
everything.
no.
Sorry to hear that.
Didn't know.
Yeah, basically his daughter was very, very unwell for a couple of weeks in intensive care, but she's home now, thank God. And it's
Oh,
wonderful.
that's great
and
to
it's
hear.
Beautiful. But yeah, so he said he's going to be getting it done. I said, listen, mate, until you get it done, you are going to be getting a lot of smack talk come your way. And he's like, I know, but he will get it done.
Has a lot of people been talking to him about it then?
Oh mate, he's getting it on every channel. He's on TikTok or everything. Where's your tattoo,
People
Josh?
are giving it to him on TikTok.
Yeah,
we had too many TikTok fans.
he sent me a video of him on TikTok where he's even getting abuse on there, saying, "Where's the tattoo?"
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
It's transcended.
There's actually two people who have said that if Kane scores 21 Premier League goals, they'll get a tattoo. There's Josh King and there was another guy, Sebastian or something, who was on Twitter. He said he promises he will get a tattoo if Kane scores 20 goals. So I'm looking forward to a good run of form for Harry Kane, 100%.
You've agreed on it as well, haven't you, Simeon?
I haven't said anything about getting a tattoo.
I tried. I tried.
I will get 20 goals.
If Kane doesn't get 20 goals, Sim has to get it, yeah?
I never said that at all. People keep calling out themselves getting a tattoo. I never said anything about any stakes. I'm willing to do a forfeit. I'm not getting a tattoo though. My mum would kill me.
Yeah, I know that. And I believe. Do you know what? I hid my very first tattoo as a Star of David on my chest, and I hid it for 6 months. And then I was at home, and I was getting changed into a suit, and I took my t-shirt off, and she walked in. She was like, she started screaming my blood, started screaming her head off to my dad. 'Cause I've got the first line of the Shamar in it as well. I said, it's the first line of the Shamar. And she's like, Gary, but calling for my dad who's right next to her, screaming bloody murder. And was like, is that what it says? And my dad was like, yeah, she don't like them, but she's learned to accept them now. She's learned to accept them. But what can we do? But hey, Tottenham.
Yeah. Talking of Tottenham, let's talk about. Let's start off with Harry Kane. Let's talk about Harry Kane, Brian. What are you seeing on the pitch from him at the moment? Are you happy with what you're seeing? Is it more than just goals? Talk to me.
So, what I will say is, Simeon, you literally snatched victory from the jaws of defeat with that Oliver Giroud and World Cup thing. I was ready to go in. I was like, he's done it. He's done it.
He's done it. Come on.
I was like, he's done it. I was ready to unload. No, we'll go for
He's done it again, that Harry Kane.
He's brought out a stat out of nowhere. But no, listen, it wasn't a good performance. I said on what game was it? Brentford game. You could see in the last couple of games there's been an increase in his output. He's looking more like himself. And yesterday was, to me, just stagnated. He played well in parts, but that chip goal, it's normally in the back of the net before as soon as that's left his foot. There's just certain instances. Listen, you can see that his attitude is there, and he's trying to get back into form, but there's just chances he's not taking. And I think I said it on your show as well, that Harry Kane's known for taking shots early, very, very early, before the goalkeeper's set, and that was his like one of his USPs. And then he's just stopped that. And I don't know if that's lack of confidence that he just wants to take that extra touch to be sure.
To be fair, that lob was fairly early.
Yeah, I mean that lob that was very, very quick thinking of him, and the goalkeeper was like 16 yards off his line. But I mean, you look at the shot that Krul made the save with, where he just. When he fell over, he was curling it. Normally, that shot's taken before he even falls. As soon as that's first time, I think he's just taking one too many touches. I don't think I agree with Ben on the outcome of the game. I still think that game's 3-0 without him in it. That's what I will say for this game. He didn't get an assist for any of the goals. I don't think he contributed in any of the build up to the goals, from what I remember. So he needs to do more now. He really does, and hopefully, I mean, I've put a shoe in that he's going to score against Leicester because he always does. Always,
We said that
always
against
does.
Burnley.
Yeah,
Well,
but
Burnley we didn't play.
I've stuck my.
True, we didn't play Burnley.
Yeah, it's very true. Well done, Simeon's done it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How can he not
I'm
score against Burnley? He's so
I
crap.
know. I mean, even with the game off, he could have had the whole pitch to himself, and he still didn't score.
No, but
But
you know,
yeah,
if it's Spurs, I know, like, obviously we will want Kane to start scoring goals again, and that's obviously a big, like, it's all on our minds. When is he going to start
Yep.
scoring goals again? Obviously, after everything that happened in the summer. But, like, if we're playing well, and I believe anyway, from what I'm seeing on the pitch, I think he's contributing to the dynamic of the team. I think Conte also sees that. Like, is it too much focus on, like, is he scoring? Like, if Tottenham are playing well, we're scoring, like, we scored 2 goals last game, 3 goals this game. Is it too much to focus on him right now, and, like, while we're in good form just because he hasn't scored?
I think it's a bit of both, Simeon, because we could be if we win a game 1-0, it could have been 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 if he's on form. We need to sort this goal difference out. This goal difference, which took such a battering before he came, we need to. I mean, I think we're on now what, -1?
I think
Yeah.
minus
Or
two now. Or minus one. Minus one. Yeah, minus one.
So it's -1. It's we should be high. I mean, any position we're going for right now, whether we go into fourth or whatever, and it comes to goal difference, we're miles behind everyone. We're miles behind everyone. And when you look at that, there's one person that you could say we rely on desperately for goals, and that's not. That's a fact. Harry Kane is our number one source of goals, and he needs to buck his ideas up quick.
I agree with that, but maybe that's something we have to stop thinking. Like, obviously, we will want Kane. Kane is our top goal scorer. He's our talisman. He is our man for goals. I completely agree. 1 goal in 13 games is not good enough for Harry Kane. But maybe we have to, when you're a team, football's a team game, and we've always said, you know, we have to stop relying on Harry Kane for goals. We have to stop only thinking about Kane as our source of goals. And you look at Chelsea, for example, right now. I know, like, Lukaku's been injured, but, like, they don't, like, everyone is contributing to goals there. They're not relying on any one player for goals. And I think that's how good teams have to be. We can't be focusing on this player has to score us a goal. It has to be here, it has to be him, it has to be him. We have to be looking at all areas of the pitch. And I think that's hopefully where we're I think it's positive if that's where we're headed. Isn't it?
Oh, Simeon, you've opened the door for me, haven't you? You've opened the door, and I'm going to walk straight through it right now. There's a big difference between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur. There's a big difference between the calibre of players between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur. And there's a big difference between the money spent on those players between Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur. We desperately, and I mean desperately, need a class, and I'm talking big time class striker bought in January. No excuses, no nothing, because for exactly what you're saying, we need someone else that can put the ball in the net, or if Kane is going through a rough time, say, do you know what? Here you go, sit on the bench for a bit or whatever. There is genuine competition for you. If you don't start scoring, this is what's going to happen, because we need reinforcements there. We need a backup. I hate using that word. We need competition for him desperately, and we can't keep carrying on like this. For me, a striker needs to be bought ASAP. Like
we need competition for the past 5 years, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. He's been. I keep saying this. He's undervalued. He is completely undervalued by Tottenham Hotspur. And I mean the board and the club, not in his contract, in his money, but I mean the fact that we just expect him to play week in, week out, and deliver the goods every single time. It's not humanly possible unless you're Messi or Ronaldo.
Yeah, but you know, it's always going to be talked about if he only scores 1 goal in 13 games, and that's going to
Without
be
doubt.
the same. It's going to be the same for anyone. It's going to be the same for Heung-min Son, even the same for Lucas Moura. I know he regularly does that 1 goal in 13 games, and it's going to be the same for players like Romelu Lukaku as well. You know, he's also going through a quiet patch in goals when he was fit, but he was playing with a bit of, you know, I think he was very much tired legs and stuff, Romelu Lukaku. But if he goes through now, Lukaku back in the team, and he only scores 1 goal in 13 games, he's going to be getting the exact same pelters as Harry Kane has got, and rightly so, in my opinion.
Yep, you're right there, Sim. You're right there, Sim. But this is the thing as well. The great thing to talk about. I mean, you've got that on the negative, but the back three have been superb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the back three. I mean, Ben Davies again. I mean, like you were saying, the fact that he got the assist for Son's goal, it's just ridiculous. It's absurd to think he's up there, and his positional play has been outstanding. He's just been a revelation under Conte. It just goes to show what you can do with a player. It just goes to show. And now, you know what, you look at it now, and Ben Davies is probably a person we can't risk to get injured on that left-hand side.
It's
He's probably
crazy,
that
isn't it?
vital right now.
It's crazy when you think
Exactly.
about
We're
it.
relying on Ben Davies now.
How reliant we are on Ben Davies right now. It's nuts.
Well, you say that as well. You look at the whole back three. If someone
Yeah.
had said to you last season under Jose, the back three, we're going to go to a back three, and it's those three, you would have laughed.
And if Dyer
gone
gets
mad.
out injured now as well, Dyer's performing at a very high level at the moment as well.
It's insane. It's insane to think that this is what Conte does. You give
Yeah.
him the players, and he can make players like we keep talking about the Victor Moses one. I mean, the one where I think he's got his work cut out to improve is to find a position for Japhet Tanganga. We all think it's that right. I think it's that right on a back three. It's definitely. I mean, I think it's clearly shown now. It's not a right wing back. Clearly shown.
Yeah, yeah.
But the back three have to be applauded. But another thing I wanted to mention, have you seen these rumours, guys, about Jordan Pickford? They're not going away.
Yeah,
There's
I've
another
seen
one
them.
saying
I've seen them.
there's one yesterday that I then retweeted saying that apparently we've agreed £100,000 a week wages for him, and I'm like, what? It's like if Hugo signs another contract, why are you signing the England number one as a backup? And if you do sign him, and Lloris is going, I want Dean Henderson. I think Dean Henderson offers a lot more. The only thing I rate Pickford for is his distribution, which, let's face it, is night and day compared to Hugo's.
There's
But I
two
don't
Jordan
like the
Pickfords, though, isn't there, Brian? There's the Everton Jordan Pickford and there's the England Jordan Pickford. I mean, we all clowned on Arsenal for getting Aaron Ramsdale, and he's turned out like unbelievably well. So look, any goalkeeper we bring in now to replace Hugo Lloris, I think we're going to be left wanting, because Hugo Lloris is just that much of a classy goalkeeper. Let's be honest. So we're going to need to replace him with someone at some point. Do I want Jordan Pickford? Probably not. Do I want Dean Henderson? I don't know. I genuinely can't think of a goalkeeper that can come in and be better than Hugo Lloris.
Oh no! I mean that's like for us, it's like when Man U replaced Schmeichel, or when Arsenal replaced Seaman. It's that pivotal to us. Simeon, go on, pull one out the bag. Who would you go for?
Well, goalkeeper.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's difficult to it looks like, by the way, according to the Athletic, Spurs and Hugo are confident of agreeing a new deal. So it looks like that decision is going to have to be put off for probably another couple of years. But who would I choose? I don't know. It's very, very difficult to think who's right now. Look, anyone I think we can get is going to be a downgrade, as Ben said. I think that's just reality.
Agree with that.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Someone in the comments, Dal says Emi Martinez. Would he be one?
Yeah, he's pretty good, to be honest. I wouldn't.
Joe, I agree. I think he's a phenomenal goalkeeper, but I don't think Aston Villa would sell. And there's the Arsenal link, isn't there? And would he come?
Yeah.
That's the thing. There is that Arsenal link.
I mean, he gets booed every time he goes back now. So I mean, that could be a match made in heaven in terms of the Arsenal fan base don't like him. He left and he fell out with the kind of Arsenal hierarchy for choosing Leno over him.
Yeah, I mean there is that. I mean, he was at Arsenal for a long, long time. So whether
he went there as a boy, an 18-year-old kid.
There you go. I mean, he's been phenomenal for Villa and Argentina. He is outstanding. I don't count him when I think of goalkeeper, because I just don't think that deal's likely. I just don't, because he plays regular for Villa. Villa, we know, don't need the money, and I don't think we'd pay the money if that was demanded. I see Dean Henderson A as homegrown, B young.
Yeah, he's not a bad shout.
He's
not a bad shout.
Who's that? Years.
Who?
Dean Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
He's homegrown. He's young. He's been like, if he comes in as Hugo's, like, even if we sign him as a number 2 at the end of the season, then he's homegrown. He's young. You can see he's been number 2 for this season. He's okay to it. If he comes on the assurances that once Hugo goes, you are number 1, then I think at his age it's a no-brainer.
The problem is with Dean Henderson, now with the new hierarchy coming at Man United, they could earmark him as a number 1 for next season at Man United, and then he'll probably be happy to stay there.
But that's the thing. Ragniak's not even official yet, is he? He's here till the end of the season, but it's not. So it's up in the air. But I mean, hopefully Hugo signs this deal, and we use it. If Hugo signs this new deal, we have to use the whole time of this deal to properly scout the correct keeper, like Liverpool United did with De Gea. When they knew Van der Sar was coming up, they literally just watched him religiously, identified him. All right, he got off to a shaky start, but look what he turned out to be.
Yeah.
Amit in the comments says, go get Handanovic, Conte's keeper at Inter.
I mean, that would be probably the best that we could do.
He's a fantastic keeper, although what I would say, I think I think recently he is going through a bit of a dodgy spell.
Right.
But I think.
And how old is he?
Early 30s potentially. No, is he even 30
He's
yet?
younger, isn't he?
And he's been at Inter for a while now.
Oh, bloody hell. He's 37.
Is he?
Yeah.
Sammy Handanovic.
Yeah.
He's 37.
I didn't
Yeah, I
realise
don't
he
see
was
him
so
coming.
old.
He won't be coming because there's no sell-on value there, is there?
37.
Bloody hell, I didn't think he was
How long has he been
37.
Inter for then?
Let's have a look.
Long time. I know he's been brilliant for them for a long time. Sammy Handanovic.
He's been at Inter since 2012.
Oh wow, long time, 9 years.
Yeah.
Time flies, eh, Brian? It was only just yesterday he signed for Inter.
It certainly does. 9 bloody hell, that is a long time. But also, that doesn't really. This is where the only reason again, John, is this homegrown issue. This homegrown issue is a problem with us at the moment. So I've just been thinking English talent. Again, I mean, there's some people in the chat, and I see why Sam Johnston keeps popping up because of the rumours and because he had a good season with West Brom once near the end of the season. But I just don't. I see him as the number 2, not as.
What about Nick
competition.
Pope, Brian?
Nick Pope's my second one. I just prefer, even though Henderson's had more Premier League experience, I just think if you look at Henderson whilst he was at Sheffield United, you saw the impact he had at Sheffield United. He was in the team that got them up. He was in the cup, the team that they stayed up. He went, and then what's his name, Ramsdale, who's obviously doing wonderful at Arsenal, but he came off the back of a relegation with Bournemouth, then came off a relegation at Sheffield United. So I just favour Dean Henderson because I think there's a lot more to come from him. A lot more.
It's also a lot to be said that those two Sheffield United sides were very different sides, weren't they?
Oh,
the one that with Henderson
right.
in it and the one with Ramsdale in it. I mean, the one with Henderson in it was a much more functional side, wasn't it? The one with Ramsdale in it, I mean, they didn't win a game for God knows how long in the Premier League.
The only difference in the personnel was Ramsdale and Henderson.
It's true, but they lost their manager halfway through the season.
Ramsdale's doing well, but I think everyone's going overboard. He's doing great. I'm not denying it, but
this is what I call Arsenal propaganda.
only
Happens
15
every
games
year.
in. Like, it could easily come the end of the season and we're thinking, oh, he actually didn't have that good of a season. You know what I mean? He's having a great season so far. Credit to him, but doesn't mean that's it. He's a great signing now and that's it. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
but you got to say he's definitely one of the keepers of the Premier League so far.
So far,
Yeah, he is.
so far.
Enough talk about Arsenal. Let's get back to Tottenham. So yeah, Moura was superb yesterday. Come on, he was.
Yeah,
superb.
he was brilliant.
The goal was outside. I mean, it was one of those games where, as you know, I'm a big Moura fan, and I understand all the frustrations with him. But the way Moura took the goal and the way he performed yesterday, it's like everything clicked for him. Everything clicked for him in that game. Not saying it's going to happen in the next game, but that's what he is capable of doing, and that's why people do get frustrated with him, because when he doesn't do it, we know he's got the capabilities to do it.
Exactly.
And hopefully now Conte, if Conte can do what he's doing with Davies and get him functioning like that, what a player again we have on our hand.
The thing with Lucas is not necessarily that we get frustrated that he doesn't do it. It's just that he's never done it really consistently in his whole career. That's the reality of Lucas.
Of course, and the other thing you got to remember, people always hold him to that bar of what he did in Ajax and expect that to be like a weekly thing or a regular thing. And it's that Ajax game, as brilliant as it is, you have games like that will never be repeated. But listen, there's loads and loads and loads of positives at the moment.
And that's the thing with Lucas. A lot of the time in big games, he turns it on, doesn't he? He's a bit of a big game player, but that kind of shows when he really wants to. He can turn it on, but he just doesn't always do it, does he?
Exactly. But
Right.
then we move on to Brighton, where we should batter them.
I mean, They've got a lot of injuries, Brighton. But just
So
before Brighton,
knowing our luck, Ben, it'll get snowed off. There'll be a huge snowstorm again,
yeah.
and it'll get snowed off like Burnley. But yeah, sorry, Ben, what was you about to say?
I was going to say before that Brighton game, we do have a game in the Conference League against Rennes. And after that Moura game, we were all very angry and upset with the result, saying a lot of people saying that we can't play the second string. And it just proves it that we can't play the second string if they do lose to Moura. But since that game, you know, some of the second string have come in and done all right. Matt Doherty came on yesterday, done well. Ryan Sessegnon played well, although Ryan Sessegnon is suspended. Harry Winks as well had not bad performances against Leeds and Brentford. Are you more confident that some of these second string players can come in and do a job against Rennes?
I'm starting to believe. I want to see a few first teamers out there, but again, we've got to be very careful. Like, remember I was saying to you before, I thought we might have seen Bergwijn at right wing back because I thought Emerson might. I found out he was ill. It weren't the injury that he picked up, but we need to do this. We need to get some minutes in players. They're going to be a vital part of the Christmas schedule because obviously we're so strength in depth isn't our key point or strong point. So
You could say
they're going
that
to have to do it. They're going to have to do it. But the revelation that Brighton have now got 8 players out is maybe food for thought for commentators to say, okay, now I need a few more first teamers ready for Sunday. But also Rennes, they battered their can't remember who it was yesterday. 5-0. They're second.
St.
in the
Etienne, it was, yeah.
There you go. They're second in La Liga. They could be resting a lot of players. So it's a hard one to gauge, but just hope we get the win. I don't want to go out of this.
Are Rennes guaranteed top of the group?
Yep.
Yeah, they are. So, I mean, I can't see why they would play a fully strength team, Rennes.
Exactly.
Surely they'll rest some players, especially with the busy Christmas period. I don't know if it's as busy in France as it is in England. But
I can't remember if they have a winter break. I can't remember if France have a winter break.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But either way, with them being second in the league, with PSG not exactly performing at their highest level, although they're many points clear, you would think Rennes would want to save a few players for the league, wouldn't you?
That's what you would think. I mean, if any other team had topped the group, like if we had topped the group, you'd expect that. Why play them in a?
I'm sure they all rest players, but Moura rested players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's also true.
There is that. So we'll see, but hopefully we just get the job done. But guys, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. I can see a very, very, very important person in the background.
Also,
someone I miss dearly and look forward to seeing when I come back in February. Love your grandpa more than life itself. What a top man that man is. And yeah, when I come back in February, please God, I will be making sure I see him.
100%, Brian. Always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
You certainly will, guys. Love you all, and as always, Levy out.
Come on, you Spurs. See you later, Brian. All right, from one Brian to the next, let's bring on my grandpa. How you doing, Grandpa?
I'm doing really well, thank you.
Enjoyed the game yesterday?
I loved it. I loved the game. I've got similar views to what Brian was saying, but not totally.
Go on.
I thought I know it was a clean sheet, but I think we were very, very lucky not for them not to score.
Correct, yeah.
We made some really basic mistakes there, and we got away with it, and we were lucky. So I wouldn't say that we've still got it right at the back there. But then
who do you think those mistakes were down to, and what was it down to?
Well, I still feel that Sanchez is a weak link, and I got frightened every time the ball went to him.
Yeah.
Every time he touched it, I felt that it was going to go in the wrong place. I think to some extent, Loris did a couple of stupid things. They tried to play in the goal area. You know, it was crazy.
That's right. He did give the ball away inside his own box once, didn't he?
That's right. So I'm not so strong. But then we didn't have Emerson, and I think that was that we missed him. And I think if we want to talk about the best players in a minute, the worst player was Tanganga.
Yeah,
I think he did absolutely nothing, and that's 2 games. Well, he came on for half time, didn't he? Or just after half time last game, and he didn't do anything then. And I think unless Conte can do a turnaround with him. I think he's somebody that we should sell.
That's interesting. I mean, he's still a very young player, Grandpa.
He's a young player, so that, and Conte has that ability to turn them round. But you know, we've got to sell some players, I suspect. And if there is any, I would or put him out on loan for a bit. I thought by far and away, and I agree with Brian also, by far away the most exciting thing is what Conte has done with Davies. I think Davies was the man of the match yesterday.
A player used to hate.
Not
hate,
I
but
didn't
dislike.
like at all.
Yeah.
I don't hate anybody.
Hate's the wrong word. I know you don't like the word hate, but dislike.
I would have said we should be selling him. But what he's done is change the way he plays, and he's got him as a wing back now, and really he's doing well both when he's in defence and when he's in attack. He's suddenly became a large man. You know, he's strong, and I think it was great to see. I thought that I disagree with Brian on Kane. I think Kane actually had a very good match. And it was interesting listening to Conte's after-match talk. He agrees with me that he had a good game. He actually had two sort of semi-assists in the two goals. And his passing and his blocking and his heading was absolutely superb. And I thought he had a good game. He didn't get any goals, but that'll happen. I mean, he missed a couple that perhaps he would normally have got. I don't know. They were difficult chances, but nevertheless, he's the first team player. Yes, we need a backup, but in a way, we've got everybody's backing up because everybody. Hobie has scored a goal. Davies has got a goal. Moura scored. You know, they've got Son who scores. You know, we've got a lot of people that can score goals. We do need another striker, but I wouldn't put it as a higher priority as perhaps Brian does. I thought that if I hadn't given Davies the man of the match, I would have given it to Skipp. Another person that another person that Conte's bringing out. You know, I know he's relatively new with us, but he's really brought him out. I thought Skipp had, and that goal of Lucas, I totally agree with Brian. It wasn't just his shot, which was brilliant. It was a play just before it, where he got round three players. It was absolutely brilliant. So it's all in all, it was I suppose I still came away disappointed because they are a team which is in the bottom of the league. And I felt that they had a lot of the play. I don't know what the possession statistics were, but in the first half,
65% it was to Norwich. 65% to Norwich.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly. And in the first half, it was probably higher.
Yeah, that was the whole game. I think. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
And I think that we've got to find a way of dealing with that, and that is having a better defence. It's the defence that we've got. I think yes, Dyer's playing well, and Davies is playing well in the defensive positions, but we need somebody that's going to praise. Regular, of course, was great.
What do you think of Sessegnon? Because Sessegnon came on, didn't he?
Was good. I mean, he didn't have a lot to do, but what he did very well. His passing, every pass he made was correct. He didn't make a bad mistake, and once, I think twice, didn't he? He got into the area, into the crossed the ball in a position where we should have scored. So yeah, I thought Sessegnon. I'm very hopeful about Sessegnon.
What impressed me about Sessegnon is every time I've seen him play for Spurs, he's always seemed to play within himself. Always seemed to lack the confidence to maybe take on his man, provide those crosses in the box, where he actually did that yesterday pretty much the first time. And he looked like he had a lot of speed about him. He kept trying to take on his fullback. He kept trying to provide positively for the team. So I think that's a massive step in the right direction for Sessegnon yesterday.
Yeah. And we haven't seen Lo Celso yet. Hopefully he's going to be back soon.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll play on Thursday.
Yeah, potentially.
Which would be good. Because I do agree. We have one team. We haven't got two teams yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely true.
With the amount of games we've got to have one of a stand-in for every player that we've got where we can.
And let me what's called after the game yesterday, Conte was talking about the fans chanting his name, and he was talking about how appreciative he was. But he said, "I've only been here for a month. Maybe it's too early for the fans to be chanting my name. Maybe I he said he doesn't know if he deserves it yet. What do you think? Does he deserve it?"
Yes, I do think he deserves it. I think what he does with the players, he does with the fans. He just excites them. He's infectious in the way he talks and the way he goes around, the way all the time when they're playing, he's really infectious. And you can't want Conte there. I just think he's fantastic, and I think he does deserve it. And you can see the things he's done that's made a difference. And I don't know if you noticed, but every time when there was a goal kick or anything like that, all the players were moving in sync to somewhere where they knew they were going. Everyone, it was almost like a dance. They moved. They knew where they were going to go, and I think that's Conte. That's Conte.
Conte to appear on Strictly Come Dancing next year.
Absolutely. He'd probably win. Yeah.
Love it.
Really,
All right.
really good.
Grandpa, always great to chat to you. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you very soon.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Bye.
See you soon, Grandpa.
See you soon, Grandpa.
Bye.
See ya.
And that is Grandpa. Anyone else, Sam? No one else. So I think that brings a close to Good Morning Tottenham today. The match review will be with you very shortly, as well as 5 takeaways and maybe a Tottenham update today as
Player
well.
ratings even.
And player ratings and 5 takeaways. So a bit more content coming your way today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. We'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.